So, once again, I'm here to talk about some ideas that I've decided not to do, but I thought I'd talk about at least the concepts of the ideas themselves. But yeah, as you can see, it was an MLP DBZ crossover, and I've always thought about this. Had this thought in my head for years. The problem is, for two reasons. One, it sounds cool on paper, and there's been tons of fanfiction where Dragon Ball Z and My Little Pony cross over, and yeah, it's not to say that's a problem. It's just that, I run into the problem, the same thing when I want to do Godzilla crossovers. How do I make the characters from the other group work just as well as the monsters, or in this case, the Z Fighters? That's kind of the thing, is that, how do you, the MLP characters, while they have their own attributes and their own strengths, it's the fucking Z Fighters. I don't, let no bones about it, they're pretty powerful on their own. But I wanted to talk about not just one, but two ideas, really. And in some ways, the second one's kind of a sequel I never got around to doing, same with the first story. But I thought I'd just at least talk about the ideas. And again, it kind of runs in this fanfiction of, oh, it's so cool! How the fuck do I do this? But I thought I'd at least talk about the concepts, and maybe someone can write this in the future, who knows. Anyway, so the idea for the first one was that this takes place shortly after the Cell games. This takes after the Cell game saga. Goku's gone, and I wouldn't say like it's a year later. It's more like 4 or 5 months after the events of the Cell game saga. And what's going on is that this also took place after the events of what happened with Tyrek and Twilight's Castle. So with that, basically end of season 5, 4, 5, whatever. Anyway. But yeah, that season's end, after the, series finale, that season finale with Tyrek, Tyrek's back in Tartarus, and he detects the energy of a dark entity. And it turns out that dark entity is in fact Cooler. And this also takes place after the events of Cooler's revenge, so yeah. Return of Cooler, I should say. So he's discovered that, he senses Cooler's energy, and the remnants of Cooler has, like a body of some sorts, has survived through the Big Getty Star. So Tyrek, using what's little magic he has, he brings Cooler back to life, or what's left of his mechanical body to life, and infuses him with some of his remaining magic, saying, hey, you free me, and I'll help you conquer the universe. And Cooler's like, no, we're not doing that. So Cooler, using now Tyrek's magic draining ability, because he now has Tyrek gave him that power to hopefully, thinking that he could manipulate Cooler. Cooler now uses his new magic draining ability to consume the magic from around the world and create a new Big Getty Star to drain the magic out of Equestria. Well, the thing is that Celestia and Luna catch on, and they understand that this is an evil they can't fight, or the main six can fight. But however, it's an evil that has been beaten before, twice. So Celestia makes a call to King Kai, saying, hey, look, we got this guy named Cooler, I know you know some buddies of yours who beat him, so please send help. So Goku, who's in the afterlife, suggests, hey, how about you send Gohan and the others? So, yeah, King Kai sends a message to Dende, who Dende sends the message to the remaining Z Fighters. And so, the team consisting of Gohan, Vegeta, Tien, 18, Krillin, and Piccolo, yeah, those 6 guys, together, they go to the planet of Equestria. However, during the trip there, Cooler detects their energy and is like, oh, fuck, I cannot deal with that right now. He blows up the ship in the atmosphere. He blows it up, and the team is separated. Most of them are all split up, and eventually they're all found except Vegeta, but he gets found by Princess Luna. And of course, you know what this means, Vegeta versus Luna. Which, yeah, I know it sounds a little one-sided, but if I ever did the fight, I wanted to make it a little more matched up until Vegeta went, Super Saiyan. And you see, again, this kind of runs into the problem of, like the same thing I said about Godzilla crossovers, it's really difficult to have it, one side, and not make it as one-sided. And that's the thing you want to do with crossovers, is make both sides shine equally. You want to make them shine equally in both forms. And yeah, with the Z Fighters, that's the big thing here. It's not only because I can only think of certain scenes, it was also because, how do the main 6 survive, Cooler, and plus, how do they help out other than just stand around and talk? But yeah, that's kind of the big thing. So Vegeta and Luna fight for a bit. until Celestia and the others, the main six and the Z Fighters break him up. Is like, hey, we gotta fight Cooler again. Meanwhile, Cooler, the more magic he drains, the more he gets a new body from it. No longer is his body made of metal, but now it's becoming flesh, and now he's becoming like a magic Cooler. And of course, I would definitely have Rainbow Dash make some Cooler jokes, like, oh, he's 20% cooler now. Or, it'd probably be Pinkie Pie who would do that. I also thought of some fun scenes here and there, like cool interaction scenes. I think Rarity would think Piccolo's, I think she would definitely think Piccolo's cloak would be a cool, I think she would honestly think it would be a cool, like, design. And she would even look at the rest of the because it's new clothes, you know. These clothes are unlike anything they've seen in Equestria, so she makes a whole fashion line out of the rest of the Z Fighters attire. And Krillin's all like, hey, I inspired something! Don't let it go to your head, sweetie. Yes, ma'am. I kind of just imagine AT would just shoot him down the moment he gets this confidence. Anyway, you're probably also wondering, what about Marin? Marin's being... I would have it that Marin's being watched over by Bulma or Chi-Chi, because I would have it that Roshi, Oolog, and Yajirobe sneak on board. Like, they sneak on board the ship because Master Roshi thinks, hey, it's a planet full of chicks! Oh boy! That's the best I can do with Roshi. Oh boy, I'm gonna get me some ah, man, they're horses! Yeah. Anyway, so the story continues, and eventually, yeah. I'd also would have loved to have the. I also had this scene in my head of Gohan and Twilight talking about, you know, having these responsibilities put on themselves. Like, obviously, Twilight becoming a princess, and Gohan, at the time, after defeating Cell and his father's gone, he now has the responsibility to protect the world, his world. And Twilight feels it kind of has the same thing. They're both very book smart. They're both very powerful, and they're both thinking. They both think before they act. So I think Gohan and Twilight would definitely become friends. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of just imagine, especially going back to with the clothesline, just real quick. I definitely see like Rarity wearing Piccolo's cape and turban as like thinking it's some kind of cool fashion design. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the main point. So yeah, stuff happens, and then at the end of the story, I had this idea where the rainbow power doesn't really work, and Gohan going Super Saiyan 2, he's now on par with Magic Cooler. He's gotten so powerful, he's drained the alicorns, Cooler's nearly completed this new version of the Big Getty Star, and he's nearly drained all the magic from Equestria. So Twilight gets the idea to hit Gohan with the rainbow power, and he becomes the Rainbow Saiyan. It sounds really weird, but I want... actually, the better name would be the Super Saiyan of Harmony, or the Harmony Saiyan. Something like that. Like, it would just be kind of... I just want to have fun with it, bottom line. And I kind of imagine the key energy being like a rainbow light. Not the hair. Like, the hair would stay the same, but the key energy's like flowing with rainbow energy, and Gohan proceeds to destroy Magic Cooler once and for all. So, they say their goodbyes, they leave, and that's kind of the end of the first story. The second story is even less thought out, really. The second story is even less thought out for multiple reasons. The second story revolves around Luna's the remaining nightmare energy that possessed Rarity and Luna. It has it has left their world and has been haunting dreams looking for a perfect host. And it finds a good host in Bulma. She becomes Nightmare Bulma, and yeah, from there, Nightmare Bulma proceeds to try to plunge the DBZ world's their world into darkness. And Vegeta actually sides with Bulma because he's not going to try to kill his wife. So Vegeta is like, I don't want to do this. I'm siding with her. I'm not fighting my wife. Nope. And I feel like Vegeta would do that. I feel like there's a part of Vegeta who it's very clear he does care about his family, and I don't think he would fight. I don't think he would, if given the chance. I don't think he would attack Bulma, really. So I think he sides with Bulma, and Trunks is like, what the fuck are my parents doing? So yeah, this would also, by the way, be after the Buu saga, shortly after the Kid Buu saga. So the rest of the fighters, they're all fighting the Nightmare Bulma and Vegeta, and yeah, main six come in, they help, they win. That's the gist of the other story. That's even less thought out, really. But yeah, I always had that thought in my head. Especially, I thought out the cooler the cooler storyline a bit better. But again, for those two reasons of I can think of main scenes, but I can't really think of. And I can think of the main plot, but I can't really think of, how to connect all those scenes, as well as, not make the Z-Fighters be like, yeah, Z-Fighters to the win, just stay over there, ponies. I want to actually have the ponies do stuff, aside from helping out at the end with the whole saying of the Harmony saying or something like that, It's really weird, but I wanted to have stupid fun with it at the end, as you can tell. I fully acknowledge the stupidity of that name, but yeah, I think that's kind of the charm of it. So there you go, guys. Those are my 2 DBZ MLP crossover ideas. Just comment below, let me know. What did you guys think of them? Did you guys like them? Did you guys hate them? Just let me know in the comments below. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.